On the frozen tundra, a polar bear shatters the silence. Each step is a calculation for the final blow. For the polar bear, this is not a hunt. It is an assertion of dominance. Armored in a thick white coat and a massive layer of blubber, the polar bear defies the brutal cold of its frozen kingdom. On all fours, it stands a menacing 4.3 to 5.3 feet at the shoulder, but rears up to a terrifying height of 8 to 10 feet. An adult male is a true titan, crushing the scales at 660 to 1,760 pounds, while females are formidable forces weighing between 330 and 660 pounds. In the battle for a mate, two polar bears face a life or death struggle. It is a war without mercy, where only the strongest will earn the right to carry his bloodline into the future. When maddening hunger strikes, cannibalism is never far behind. A mother becomes a living shield, protecting her young cub from the assault of another polar bear. In the frigid Arctic, tensions constantly simmer, leading to heart-stopping showdowns. A fierce battle between two polar bears erupts, a brutal testament to the unforgiving harshness of this frozen wasteland. Danger lies in wait, masked by the camouflage of its own kin. A tension festering for decades, ready to detonate at a single touch. A tragedy of the mating season. The giant attacker's target isn't the mother, but the young cub by her side. A brutal reproductive instinct drives it. Eliminating the cub will force its mother to seek a new mate. Backed into a corner, the mother becomes a living shield for her offspring. Where a meal is a matter of life and death, conflict is inevitable. Two titans collide. In the brutal world of the polar bear, the battles are not only for mates or food. Sometimes, the most chilling confrontations erupt between a father and his own cub. In the punishing cold of the Arctic, survival is a high-stakes game of calories. The seal, with its thick, energy-rich blubber, has become the ultimate prize for the polar bear. Perfectly camouflaged by the snow, the polar bear stealthily closes in on the seal. There is no escape from the apex predator of this frozen world. With a colossal frame and razor-sharp claws, the polar bear effortlessly punches through the ice to seize its perfect meal. When faced with a predator, the massive walrus swings its sharp tusks, but the polar bear, ruler of the frozen wastes, doesn't flinch. Seizing the moment, it charges forward and lands a single blow on its opponent's weak spot. In this harsh battle for survival, absolute strength decides everything. A brutal showdown, decided by power and patience. The polar bear, a master of ambush, a predator of consummate skill. Its crushing jaws swiftly overpower the walrus. The ruler claims its high-energy feast. Beyond seals and walruses, the polar bear also stalks salmon. This feast of nutrients is essential, forging the thick blubber armor the bear needs to battle the brutal, unforgiving cold. Polar bears don't truly hibernate, not like their brown or black bear cousins. Through the punishing winter, most males and non-pregnant females remain active, stalking seals across the vast sea ice. Only expectant mothers enter snow dens, slipping into a unique state of torpor to give birth and nurse their newborn cubs. Polar bear mothers are the Arctic's ultimate single warriors. Males aren't just absent fathers, they are a lethal threat to the cubs. Deep within a winter snow den, the mother fuels her young with supercharged milk, sparking explosive growth. In mere months, they are strong enough to face the brutal world outside. Polar bears are creatures of solitude. Each stalks the vast ice alone, the only unbreakable bond forged between a mother and her cub. Life isn't a perpetual hunt. Between kills, they conserve precious energy, resting in silent, frozen stillness. The Arctic fox is a small fox species that lives in the tundra and icy regions around the Arctic Ocean. It is famous for its super thick fur, which changes color with the seasons, pure white in winter and turning brown/gray in summer to camouflage against rocks and soil. Its main food is lemmings and other small rodents, which are its most important prey. The Arctic fox is an omnivorous and opportunistic animal. In winter, or when small prey is scarce, it may follow polar bears across the sea ice to look for food. Polar bears mainly hunt seals, but they often eat only the energy-rich fat, leaving much of the meat, bones, and skin behind. This leftovers become a free extra meal for the fox.
Across the sun-drenched plains of southern Africa, kings walk with silent purpose. But even kings can make fatal mistakes. The lion, Africa's most revered predator. Yet here, amid giants and titans, pride alone is not enough. For not every shadow in the grass yields to teeth, and not every prey chooses to flee. Today, the hunters become humbled. Among Africa's grazers, none are more deceptively shaped than the hippopotamus. To the inexperienced eye, it seems sluggish, an overgrown grazer caked in mud and lethargy. Despite its bulk, the hippo ranks among the deadliest mammals on the continent. Armed with jaws that open nearly 180 degrees and bite pressure exceeding 1,800 pounds per square inch, it is a creature built not just for grazing, but for dominance. Males often engage in brutal contests over water access, leaving scars that map a lifetime of violence. Even crocodiles, predators forged over 200 million years ago, yield to its presence. Yet lions, desperate and emboldened by numbers, sometimes test the line. They follow it from the riverbank, unaware that beneath the folds of flesh lies a force not to be provoked. And for the lion, it is not merely a failed hunt. It is a lesson written in fear. Where rivers run through the savannah, a threat greater than any big cat waits just below the surface. The Nile crocodile, reaching lengths of over 20 feet and armed with a bite force exceeding 3,000 pounds per square inch, is Africa's most dangerous predator in silence. Drawn by urgency, lions must sometimes step into the water. But beneath that quiet surface waits a reptile that has barely changed in 100 million years. What happens next cannot be undone, because in this domain, a single misstep is all it takes. Crocodiles rarely leave the safety of water, and for good reason. On land, they're slower, more exposed, and when faced with lions, that vulnerability becomes obvious. Away from water, the crocodile retreats under pressure. But back in its element, the dynamic shifts. As one lion attempts a crossing, the advantage belongs to the hunter below. They stay hidden until the moment matters. The strike lands, fast, clean, almost final. But the lion slips free, shaken but breathing. Some lessons don't leave scars, only warnings. When drought deepens and the herd grows restless, lions sometimes turn their gaze to giants, those whose footsteps echo through generations. And among them, the African elephant towers above all. reaching heights of 13 feet at the shoulder and weighing over 6 tons. An adult matriarch is not just a leader. She is a fortress of instinct, memory, and defiance. Her tusks alone can reach 7 feet long, sharpened by years of uprooting trees and defending calves. And when her family is threatened, hesitation vanishes. Lions know this, but hunger clouds judgment. Of all the prey lions, fear, none commands more respect than the Cape buffalo. Weighing over 1,500 pounds, with horns shaped like a warrior's crown and muscles built for confrontation, the buffalo is not only strong, but unshakable under pressure. It does not scatter easily, and when surrounded, it does not break. Lions know this. They've hunted buffalo for generations. It takes strategy, patience, and overwhelming force. The pride must separate one from the herd and act before the window closes. But sometimes one lion goes too far. A single charge can unravel the hunt. There are lions that carry curved scars along their flanks, reminders of failed pursuits and resistance that did not back down. Because when the buffalo responds, it does so without mercy and never alone. In this rivalry, victory is earned, not taken. And even the most experienced hunters tread carefully, knowing that here, the hunted can turn the tide. In times of scarcity, even the most cautious hunters are drawn toward risk. Few targets tempt this risk more dangerously than the rhinoceros. Weighing over 4 tons, with skin thicker than that of a grizzly bear, and a frontal horn that can grow up to 5 feet long, the black rhino is not built for flight, but for confrontation. Its body is a vault of solid muscle. Although its eyesight is poor, its sense of smell is acute, and its reactions can be devastating. Yet, driven by hunger and the illusion of slowness, lions sometimes attempt to attack. No other grazer in Africa can deliver such raw kinetic power in a single charge. With a top speed exceeding 30 miles per hour, this creature, despite its massive size, can outpace most expectations and outmatch many attackers. For lions, the cost of that mistake is often permanent. The rhinoceros is not passive prey. It is a force wrapped in armor, moving without fear and leaving only warnings in its wake. Among all the herbivores of the savannah, few appear more graceful, yet more underestimated than the giraffe. Towering up to 18 feet, it moves with quiet confidence, browsing the treetops far above the dangers faced by smaller prey. But size alone is not its only defense. Each leg is a column of bone and tendon, capable of delivering a forceful kick in any direction. Though they are among the most efficient hunters in Africa, lions rarely target a mature giraffe unless the conditions tip in their favor, when the herd is scattered, or the individual is injured or young. Even then, the decision carries risk. In this dynamic, the outcome rarely hinges on strength alone. It comes down to timing, coordination, and whether the lions are willing to stake everything on a single attempt. For the giraffe, survival is balance, in stance, in silence. And for the lion, it is a reminder that not all giants are easy to bring down.
Dominating the frozen expanse, the polar bear is the architect of its ecosystem. By controlling the seal population, they shield fish from overpredation, upholding the ocean's fragile order. Every hunt is more than survival. It is an act that forges balance across this entire unforgiving world of ice.